Okay. All right. All right. Okay. That definitely makes a difference. All right. Okay.
There's no one in the place except you and me. So set 'em up, Joe. I've got a little story you ought to know. We're drinking, my friend, to the end of a brief episode. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. I got the routine, so drop another nickel in the machine. I'm feeling so bad, I wish you'd make the music dreamy and sad. I could tell you a lot, but you've gotta be true to your code. Make it one for my baby and one more for the road. You never know it, but buddy, I'm a kind of poet, and I got a lot of things to say. And when I'm gloomy, you simply gotta listen to me until it's tucked away. Well, that's how it goes. And Joe, I know you're getting anxious to close. So thanks for the cheer. I hope you didn't mind my bending your ear. This torch that I found must be a drought, or it soon might explode. Make it one for my baby each night for someone exactly like you. Why should we spend money on a show or two? No one does those love scenes exactly like you. You make me feel so grand. I wanna hand the world to you. You seem to understand each foolish little dream I'm dreaming. I'm scheming. I know my mama taught me to be true. She meant me for someone exactly like you. Each night for someone exactly like you. Why should we spend money on a show or two? No one plays those love scenes exactly like you. You make me feel so grand. I wanna hand the world to you. Seem to each foolish little dream I'm dreaming. I'm scared. I know my mama wanted me to be true. She meant me for someone exactly like you. Yes, exactly. Exactly like you. Like you.
We're live. Good afternoon, colleagues. Welcome. It's great to see you all out here on a winter's day. Before we begin the 3MT finals, I am very pleased to introduce Aurora Wolf, who is the Indigenous Initiatives Coordinator for the College of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies, to help us get started in a good way. She's going to take us through a land acknowledgement. And I don't know if I want to preempt where you're from, if that's what you're going to tell us, but I have here in my notes that Aurora is also an MFA graduate here at the University of Saskatchewan, and originally was from the Beardies and Okamasas Cree Nation on Treaty 6 territory. So, Aurora, welcome.
Tanse, hello. I'm a member of Beardies. I'm not from there. I've never lived there, so don't come at me. Tanse Nisigasan Aurora Wolf. Hi, I'm Aurora Wolf, and I am the Indigenous Initiatives Coordinator for CGPS. As Debbie said, I'm a member of Beardies and Okmasis Nihilwak Nation, and I'm also a fifth generation descendant of farming settler family near Moose Jaw. I've been asked to give the land acknowledgement for this event, so thank you so much for having me. And rather than kind of repeating the standard USask one, which is very good, I just thought I want to take this opportunity to deepen the context of this event because it's so awesome that we're able to gather here today. So we are gathered to celebrate research, knowledge creation, and story. These are activities that have been undertaken for millennia by the original peoples of this land, the Nahiao, Anishinaabe, Dene, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota, and Métis. We're currently situated on Treaty 6 territory, an agreement that was negotiated by our ancestors almost 150 years ago. I believe it was signed on August 23rd. There'll be some celebrations going around. If you have the opportunity, take a chance to go out because I bet they're going to be really awesome. I remind you that we are all treaty people, not just Indigenous folks and Métis folks. And I encourage you to educate yourself on your role as a participant and beneficiary within them and on this land. This land has always been our first teacher. We respect and revere the earth and take care to sustain her so that the future generations can enjoy her beautiful gifts. Reconciliation can sometimes feel intangible and unactionable in the midst of so much challenging history, but as the snow melts, LOL, I wrote this a couple days ago, and the forgotten garbage is revealed, take 5 minutes and pick it up. It's kind of gross out there. It's through small gestures and considerations that we can take care of each other and the planet. It's also through showing up for each other. So again, thanks for coming, meeting on common ground, supporting these students. And thank you for the time and space. Good luck to the competitors. I'm sure it's gonna be a wonderful afternoon.
All right, and now I should introduce myself. My name is Debbie Burston, and I'm Dean of the College of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. So welcome to our competitors. Congratulations on getting here today. Most of you went through our preliminaries, and the judges have selected you out to hear more. A couple of our contestants had a bye to the finals by having won their regionals. One in the College of Engineering that's put on by the Students Association there, and another in the College of Agriculture. And we look forward to more colleges getting excited about this event and following suit. So it is so great to see so many people here today. And welcome to those of you joining us online. The 3MT was started back in 2008 at the University of Queensland, and now today we know there are over 200 universities that participate worldwide. Today we are joined by three very special people who have volunteered their time to help us by being the judges, which is an equally hard task, I'm going to say, to what the students are going to do. So I just want to give you an introduction to them before we get going. First is Mike Halstead, who, you can wave, is a corporate and employee communications manager for the city of Saskatoon. He brings more than 17 years of experience in municipal communications, along with a strong foundation in storytelling from a career in radio, where he worked as a reporter, anchor, and news director. So welcome, Mike. We also have Winona Partridge, who is no stranger to USask. She is currently the learning architect for digital design and creation platform division of Siemens EDA. But prior to joining Siemens, Winona spent many years here at the University of Saskatchewan in a few roles, including an extended learning programs manager and the graduate career educator, which we had the opportunity to work closely with Winona, and I know she's very passionate about the professional development of graduate students. And finally, Leslie Ann Slosser, who is an award-winning communicator and director of University of Saskatchewan's Research Profile and Impact. She has a passion for creative storytelling, and she leads a talented team dedicated to showcasing USask's innovative research, scholarly, and artistic works. So, this competition, I just have to say, has really always been my favorite event of the year. I get to do a lot of things as dean, sort of award ceremonies and other talks and things, but this one really holds a very special place in my heart because it's so important that our young researchers, some of them always not, I'm not sure supposed to say young, but our early career researchers. Just a small aside, one of our interdisciplinary studies students just finished a PhD well into his 70s, and we're very proud of him. It's really important that they are able to communicate to the broad range of audiences and communicate the excitement about their research and also make it accessible to various members of the public. More and more, we know we're living in an age where scientists in particular are being questioned, but evidence-based research is being questioned by the public. And if we're not willing to put ourselves out there and try and communicate in good ways, then we're not going to counter that. And so I am very proud of our students who have taken on this challenge. It is not easy, and I'm going to explain a little bit. Think about it. They are becoming more and more deeply immersed in highly technical areas. They're spending most of their time speaking with experts who are a little prone to being critical, right? And a little prone to really pushing them to be so precise and exact in their language. But they're going to take some very complex ideas, and they've got to whittle it down. They're going to have to scripts of about 450 words. It's going to be delivered in 3 minutes with the aid of only one slide behind them. And they will be judged in 2 key areas. One is on the comprehension and the content, but the other is on the engagement and communication. Today, the top 3 winners and the People's Choice Award will all get cash prizes. But indeed, the winner of today will go on to the University of Regina in May for the Western Regional 3MT competition. And the winners of that go to a national showcase at the National Graduate Conference in the fall. So we are running this competition according to the rules, and we don't get to use the 3MT logo unless we follow the rules. And in order to do that, we don't introduce each speaker. What's going to happen is each speaker will come up, they will get queued up, they will give their presentation, and then they will finish before the 3 minutes. And then there will be about 2 minutes in between each speaker. That allows times for the judges to tabulate. And during that time, we also have Aaron Matthews, am I getting the right name? Aaron is here, is going to be sharing some stuff about a different way that students and other researchers at the university communicate research through images, and you'll hear a bit more about that later. Right, and then there will be a break. So we're going to do 6 speakers, we'll have a break, and then we'll have the final 6 speakers, or competitors, I should say. So with that, let's get to it.
Imagine waking up one morning with a cold sore. It looks terrible, it hurts, and just when it finally disappears, it comes back again a few weeks later. These cold sores are caused by herpes simplex virus 1, or HSV1 for short. Around 70% of people worldwide carry HSV1, and once you're infected, it stays with you for life. Most of the time, it only causes cold sores, but in rare cases, it can lead to serious conditions like brain infections. Now, despite how common HSV1 is, we still don't have a cure. Why? Because we don't fully understand yet what happens inside our cells after infection. When HSV1 infects a cell, it delivers its DNA into the cell's nucleus, the place where our own DNA is stored. But something interesting happens next. Instead of remaining free, the virus's DNA is wrapped around proteins from our own cells called histones. You can think of histones like spools for thread. Normally, our DNA wraps around these histones so it can be neatly stored. But this wrapping is not just for storage. It has another important function. It controls whether the DNA can be used or not. If the DNA is wrapped tightly around these histone spools, it is silenced and cannot be copied. If it's wrapped loosely, the cell can read and copy it. The same happens with HSV1 DNA. Once inside the nucleus, the virus's DNA is wrapped around these histone spools, forming what we call viral chromatin. Sometimes viral chromatin is tightly packed, meaning it is silenced and cannot be copied. Other times it becomes loose and accessible, allowing the virus to access its DNA and start multiplying. So the big question is, what unlocks viral chromatin? That is where my research comes in. I study a viral protein called infected cell polypeptide 4, or ICP4 for short. ICP4 is one of the first proteins that HSV1 produces after infection, and evidence suggests it may act like a key that can unlock tightly packed viral chromatin, allowing the virus to access its DNA, copy it, and use those copies to make more virus particles. Now, my research focuses on how ICP4 interacts specifically with these histone spools and whether or not it controls the structure of viral chromatin. If we can understand how this key works, we may one day be able to jam the lock. And if we can jam that lock, we will stop HSV1 from multiplying inside our cells. This would allow us to get one step closer to finding a cure to HSV1 and prevent those cold sores that everybody hates. Thank you.
Communication Officer in Research Profile and Impact. And I'm here to talk a little bit about images of research today. So I'm just giving you a little bit of a preview of what's to come during this competition. But for the past 12 years, USask's Images of Research has showcased the stunning research, scholarly, and artistic work of USask staff, students, faculty, and alumni. And in fact, 2 of the 3MT finalists were winner and runner-up of last year's Images of Research. So this year's contest, we had 110 entries across 5 different categories, which we'll showcase today. And the winning images were selected by 7 multidisciplinary panels. Our viewers' choice was decided by more than 1,500 public votes, and the contest was viewed online nearly 19,000 times. So the submitted images that you'll see later today represent the research, scholarly, and artistic works of 9 different USask colleges and schools. So I'm excited to share more as the competition unfolds.
So imagine going to the doctor because you've been feeling really sick. And instead of asking any questions or measuring other aspects of your health, the doctor simply asks, "So, how have you been feeling generally?" and sends you home. Most of us might wonder, why didn't the doctor ask me more specific questions to get to the root of why I'm feeling so badly? But that's exactly how we've been studying job satisfaction in law enforcement. Right now, job satisfaction in policing is measured using general aspects of work, such as salary, job security, and supervision. But law enforcement is a complex job influenced by unique factors, like being publicly scrutinized in the media. Police officers, police officers are risking their physical safety while also carrying a heavy emotional load. And when job satisfaction is low, it can affect officer mental health, how the department functions, and ultimately the quality of public safety. But right now, we're not measuring job satisfaction properly, and that's the problem. So in my doctoral research, I asked, what does job satisfaction actually look like among Canadian police officers, and how can we measure it properly? So to answer that, I started by understanding officers' lived experiences. So I got with them in their cars and rode along with dozens of police officers all across Canada. And I took what I learned from the street to better define what job satisfaction really means. And then I developed a new measure, the Frontline Officer Satisfaction Survey, or the FLOSS. I then psychometrically analyzed the survey to see if it could provide valid, reliable, and meaningful information. And after extensive field testing, it was reduced to a 37-item measure that captures the key aspects of police work. And most importantly, the main finding is that job satisfaction remains a multidimensional construct, and it does include unique factors of work, such as peer camaraderie, operational resources, and access to proper protective equipment. Organizations can't make good decisions if they don't truly understand what the problems really are. And this research helps police organizations see which aspects of the job are working, which aren't, and where meaningful change might be possible. Thank you.
So the first images of research photo that we are showcasing today is the winner of our Arts in Focus category. It's titled Palm Leaves and Paper Empires, Legal Pluralism in Colonial South Asia by Warsha Moshtaq. She's an undergraduate student in the Department of History in the College of Arts and Science. Warsha's image description reads, this palm leaf manuscript, accessed through special collections at the University of Saskatchewan, is part of a wider manuscript tradition in South Asia. For centuries, legal records were inscribed on dried palm leaves by local scribes and recognized within communities. When European colonial powers expanded into South Asia, they sought to privilege paper over palm leaves and to make land ownership more legible to the state. Yet colonial rule did not replace local law. Palm leaf and paper records existed side by side. Indigenous and colonial legal systems operated at the same time, creating a layered and contested legal order.
Imagine you are an Olympic athlete about to enter the stadium. Once you enter, the lights are bright, the crowd is alive. All your senses switch on, and you are ready to perform. But now, imagine staying in the same environment for 16 hours straight. No cool-down lab, no recovery room until the day ends and the lights go off. Even the strongest athletes will start to feel the stress. Commercial turkey hens live in this permanent competition mode under a lighting environment that has been designed to meet our needs rather than theirs. A competition mode that leads to fighting and confrontation, resulting in injuries caused by pecking and even cannibalism. For decades, turkey producers have relied on infrared beak treatment by blunting the tip of the beak to minimize injuries. However, it doesn't eliminate them. So I asked a different question. What if this aggression is actually linked to their environment, specifically lighting color? To test this, I built 3 training arenas for turkey athletes. Arena 1, white light. Arena 2, green light. Arena 3, blue light. And in each arena, I housed 2 groups of turkeys. One group with infrared beak treatment and one group with intact beaks. In the white light arena, the birds were active and alert, like athletes in a constant warm-up, but at the same time, there was severe aggression and higher mortality. In the green light arena, the atmosphere softened, the birds explored more, but there was still moderate aggressive damage. But in the blue light arena, something very remarkable happened. For the first time, even the turkeys with intact beaks caused 0 injuries. And here is the part that surprises even me. Often, when we talk about welfare alternatives, we imagine solutions that are expensive, complicated, and that demand a lot of work from our farmers. But for blue light, that's not the case. Turkeys under blue light gained more weight, ate more efficiently, mortality dropped significantly. Cannibalism, non-existent. They grew faster by eating less, which means a higher economic return. The only catch is that because our turkey athletes were less active, their plumage was a bit dirtier and the floor a bit messier. But biologically, they were thriving. My main point is that by changing their environment, specifically by using blue light, we were able to stop aggression before it even starts, which in turn could reduce the need of big treatment altogether. If we change the light color of the stadium, we can ensure the gold medal for our turkey athletes in their welfare and productivity. Thank you.
Next, we'd like to showcase our community impact winner from Images of Research. This is Ritualistic Performance by Antra'i Bashu, a master's student in the Department of Art and Art History, as well as the Department of Anthropology in both the School for the Arts and the College of Arts and Science. Antra'i's image description reads, "Through the material's tactility, I seek to capture moments that feel sacred, instances where touch affiliates with something beyond the physical, gesturing towards the divine. In these shared gestures, creation becomes a form of communion, an act that strengthens bonds, deepens connections, and reaffirms the collective spirit that sustains community building. This is the trust that community functions as a spiritual foundation, an unseen manner that guides the materialization of new trailblazers, mentors, and nurturers. Each act of making becomes a moment of active formation where creation is both material and metaphysical. The fingers serve as a network of intention, carrying a quiet devotion as they shape, mold, and respond to the world." This photo was collected by Antra'i during their field research in Kolkata, India.
It's a cold Saskatchewan morning. Now picture getting to the bus stop, like one of these people on my slide, only to find the bus you daily rely on is gone. For some people, that's just a routine budget decision. But for others, that bus, especially in Saskatchewan winter, it's life. It's how they get to work, school, how they get to medical care, how newcomers explore their new home. Now imagine that decision was made without these people who rely on the bus the most, even though they pay taxes. Decisions like this happen every day across cities who shape how we live, how we access services, and how we belong. But here's the problem. Even if these people are invited to participate, their voices don't always shape decisions. Yet, they pay taxes, again. So my research is asking, whose voice truly shapes decisions? I'm studying how cities can change their governance systems to remove the obstacles, the routines, the routines that quietly shape who participates and who holds influence. And I approach this in 3 ways. First, I'm asking, how are cities defining inclusion? Because how you define a problem shapes the solution that follows. Second, I am working with the city of Saskatoon to map out their decision-making processes. And I'm asking, who is involved? And where are the obstacles? Third, I'm working with immigrant women to understand how they experience the governance system and finding out where influence feels limited. Because inclusive governance is not just about inviting people in. Invitation is not participation, and participation is not influence. It is ensuring that their voices actually shapes outcomes. And so my research will help cities turn inclusion from intention to reality. And this will ensure that decisions are better, that policies reflect our real needs, and that communities help shape the future of their city. And as for that bus, it ensures that it shows up. Thank you.
next image is from our More Than Meets the Eye category, and it is Searching for Connection by Marissa Jones, a master's student in the Department of Anatomy, Physiology, and Pharmacology in the College of Medicine. Marissa's image description reads, a swine air organoid sits in the distance as a sensory neuron begins to chart its course towards it. Captured by spinning disc confocal fluorescence microscopy, paraffin labeled nutrites glow green as they extend and gather at the organoid boundary, drawn toward the living target. Blue nuclei are scattered, while red actin reveals the scaffolding that shapes this miniature airway system. This cold culture model is built to explore if nerves form selective connections within airway epithelial cells and whether those connections help regulate ion transport in the lung.
Have you ever wondered what type of glue has been used to make the furniture around you, the chairs you're currently sitting on? Believe it or not, it might be made and glued together using toxic chemicals. But that's not even the scariest part. The scariest part is that those toxic chemicals are present almost in every other thing around us. And those chemicals release toxic formaldehyde, a cancer-causing chemical, into our atmosphere. So today I ask a simple question. What if we could replace that toxic chemical with something made from plants? A very good afternoon to each and every one of you. My name is Talal Ahmed, and my PhD research focuses on one of the most underutilized agricultural byproducts, which is canola meal. Canola meal is a byproduct of canola oil extraction, which is currently being mostly used as an agricultural feed or being discarded due to its acidic contents. So what we do is we take the canola meal, we extract proteins using enzymatic extraction. The issue with canola meal is that the proteins are locked in a very complex structure, making them uneasy to move and uneasy to be extracted. So what do we use? We use biological scissors, which are enzymes. Enzymes can cut proteins just as scissor cuts paper. Enzymes cut proteins into smaller protein molecules, making them easier to move, interact, and then form stronger bonds. So we take the canola meal in simple way. We extract the protein using enzymatic extraction, and then we get our adhesive out of it. Now, the issue, the main thing out of this is that we get more protein extraction rates, we get higher interaction molecular strength, and one of the most important things, we get higher bonding strength when it comes to wood products. So now I ask one simple thing, like imagine tomorrow you wake up and then your kitchen cabinets, the chair you're sitting on, everything around you, what if it could be made out of a vegetable, which is canola? So I would like to say that we can actually extract a lot of proteins and make the adhesive out of it. So why not go towards a more circular bioeconomy using our agricultural byproducts, improving their quality, and coming towards a more bioeconomic environment? Thank you.
Our next image is this beautiful one from our From the Field category, titled Summer is Fleeting by Lindsay Carlson, a PhD student in the Department of Biology in the College of Arts and Science. Lindsay's description reads, blink and you'll miss summer in the Arctic. A pace of life is frenetic, even manic, to make the most of the abundant but ephemeral resources. The same is true for the scientists who work there. We make the most of every moment in our short field season. I took a break from cleaning nets after dinner to watch two parasitic Jaegers, Styracoeris parasiticus, fight over the remains of an Arctic char, Salvinius alpinus. The purple saxifrage, Saxifraga, opposite of folia, hasn't even been in bloom the day before, but it was nearly time for me and the birds to fly south again.
How many of you are full and yet still feeling hungry? Well, I was. As a new immigrant in Canada, my plate was full, yet my heart wasn't. And I wasn't alone. A majority of immigrants and refugees across the world are experiencing emotional burnout and social isolation due to cultural food insecurity. Actually, those findings shocked my role as a nurse, where we're supposed to provide culturally sensitive care when there's no conceptual clarity. And that's why I conducted my thesis as a literature review to see the bigger picture across the world. I started reviewing more than 7,000 studies for the past 15 years and ended up with this conceptualization showing you today that cultural food security follows a hierarchy. Think of this way. We all think about the bottom layer of the pyramid, the color, the texture, the smell. So refreshing. But you will realize cultural food needs are much more complex than that. Because when immigrants come to a host country, they are experiencing several structural and systemic barriers in practicing their preferred food ways, and that increases their feelings of displacement and insecurities. But interestingly, they negotiate those stresses through the heart of the cultural food security. Those beautiful nostalgic food memories, love and belonging with the family, food sharing during potlucks, food festivals, are those the powerful tools that gives them strength and resilience in adapting to the settlement challenges. And some people think my food is my identity, and that's why they inclusively practice traditional food ways even after migration. On the other hand, some people completely abandon their food ways to create a westernized identity. But I saw how many lies in between those two. When people start being creative in the kitchen, learn across cultures, start home gardening to create a hybrid food identity, and that's what brings them to the stability and sustainability at the crown of the pyramid. So I firmly believe that my study findings has the potential to bridge the knowledge and practice gap by informing food banks, refugee settlement services, and healthcare sector to help immigrants to have a smooth transition to their new countries. Again, why does that matter? Because cultural food insecurity is not about hunger. It's about missing home until they create a home. Thank you.
Thank you, Block 1. That was just amazing. Really makes you think, doesn't it? About just so many things I'm trying to absorb. So now we are going to move on we're going to have our break in just a minute, but I want to point out that there is a People's Choice Award. All you have to do is scan the QR code, and then you can go in and vote for the talk that you think is the most meets those criteria. We want you to act like judges. And those of you online, you should be seeing the QR code as well. We will have a 10-minute break. Oh, I'm missing to point out, it's important because it's a $250 prize for the for the People's Choice Award. And the poll is open now, and it will remain open for the duration of the competition. We're going to take a 10-minute break, give our judges a little chance to catch up and maybe get some refreshment. You're free to stay in the room or to go outside. There are some refreshments just around the corner where you came in, but please be back in 10 minutes. So I guess, maybe we'll come ring a bell and get you back in here and see you soon. How's everybody doing? Got a little snack? Good. We're back. I'm still thinking, I'm wondering, if people will respond to blue light. I already had someone tell me no, so, I think we have to redo the study and see how we're going to get calming effects for humans with light. And I'm thinking about job satisfaction. I'm thinking about how much we get voices out there, whether it's about food, appropriate food in our healthcare system, or making sure that our governments, and even here, in the university, we do so much consultation. I'm going to be thinking about that, what we heard from our competitors through the evening and through the days to come. Anyways, it's time for block number 2. But a reminder for the People's Choice Award. Keep that.
Do you know which neurodevelopmental condition has more cases in Canada than Tourette's, autism, Down syndrome, and cerebral palsy combined, and yet currently has no accurate animal model? The answer: fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, also known as FASD, is a neurodevelopmental condition affecting 4% of Canadians, and it causes impact on the brain and body of affected individuals. FASD currently has no accurate animal model that incorporates all aspects of the condition, with particular difficulty replicating the social effects, while remaining ethically feasible. This is where my project comes in. We aim to use honeybees as a social insect model for FASD. Honeybees are extremely social insects with well-characterized and complex social behaviors. Additionally, honeybees are feasible and cost-effective to rear in vitro, and as invertebrates have minimal ethical concerns associated with animal modeling. To do this, I used a larval in vitro rearing model, meaning I took young honeybee larvae from the field and grew them into adult bees in our lab. For the first 6 days of their development, I incorporated a small amount of ethanol into their diet, mimicking prenatal ethanol exposure in humans with FASD. Then, as they grew and developed, we monitor their survival and developmental milestones, and then as they emerge as adult bees, we record their weight and morphological abnormalities at emergence. They're then tagged with plastic tags and introduced into an observation hive in the field, so we can see how they interact with other bees in a field environment. So what did we find? First, we observed that ethanol-exposed bees had lower weight at emergence and decreased survival until emergence, as well as delayed development through key milestones such as pupation. Additionally, rare morphological abnormalities such as curled antennae were observed in our high-dose ethanol group. Next, for our social behavior observation, we observed that honeybees treated with ethanol completed less frequency of antennal contact, which is a primary communication form in honeybees, indicating a decrease in communication. We also observed that ethanol-exposed bees spent less time interacting with brood and young larvae within their colony, which is part of division of labor and reproductive brood care, which is a very important aspect of honeybee social interactions. Overall, these results demonstrate the possibility of honeybees as a preclinical model of FASD, as we demonstrated developmental, morphological, and social behavior implications based on ethanol exposure. Further, in the future directions, we plan on evaluating changes within the honeybee brain, as well as repeating social observations this summer. Overall, their unique social complexities and ease of rearing in vitro provide the opportunity that honeybees will be important in preclinical human health research in the future. Thank you.
Our next image is entitled Survival Mode by Gabriel Siminska-Hauk, and it is the winner of our Research in Action category, and I guess it's quite fitting for the weather outside. Gabriella is an alumnus from the Department of Art and Art History in the School for the Arts, and her image description reads, "This apple remains frozen on its branch through a Saskatchewan winter, its tissues fractured by ice crystal formation during repeated freeze-thaw cycles. In temperatures below -30, cellular water expands, rupturing membranes and accelerating decomposition. Meanwhile, the tree enters dormancy, slowing metabolism, sealing vascular pathways, and conserving energy until spring. My research studies living organisms in extreme prairie climates, observing how stress reshapes biological form. These transformations inform my art practice and therapeutic inquiry, how cycles of rupture, suspension, and renewal in nature parallel psychological endurance. By translating organic structures into sculptural and expressive forms, I explore how creative processes can mold resilience. What appears frozen and lifeless is not failure, it's adaptation in progress.
Imagine this. You're seated in a concert hall watching a young woman play the piano. Suddenly, the room starts to fill with smoke. You're about to panic, but you notice the pianist has not moved. Her poise calms you, so you stay seated too. Soon, the fire is put out, and she resumes playing as if nothing had happened. This is Agnes Zimmermann, who lived from 1847 to 1925 and was one of the most famous pianists in 19th century Britain. Not only did she perform, she also composed and edited scores of composers like Mozart and Beethoven. In other words, she was a star. So why did she disappear, and why does she even matter? These questions can be answered by examining her life and career, which demonstrates how 19th century women could achieve success and independence despite the gendered restrictions they faced. Agnes Zimmermann was born in Germany and moved to England as a child, performing as a child prodigy before her official debut in 1863. Her concert career lasted until 1913, when she retired due to poor health. Her programs were full of challenging and diverse solo and chamber pieces, from 18th century composers like Bach to 19th century composers like Mendelssohn. Zimmermann was also a prolific composer who often performed her own works, like solo piano pieces and violin sonatas, which were all largely admired for their quality. She performed with the greatest virtuosos of the day, like Joseph Joachim and Clara Schumann, who praised her talent and musical taste. British critics approved of her skillful playing and artistry, especially her avoidance of virtuosic flourishes in favor of remaining faithful to each composer's intentions, regardless of era or musical style. Zimmermann was considered one of Britain's finest pianists, and reviews of her activities appeared in hundreds of musical journal articles with descriptions like intelligent, accomplished, and artistic, unusual comments for a time when female pianists would be judged for their appearance and their accomplishments diminished. Zimmermann's contemporary popularity makes her current absence from history all the more striking, and this is mainly due to the fact that she had no children or students, as these two groups carried on a musician's legacy. My research, by examining hundreds of undiscovered primary sources and combining them into an accessible and comprehensive overview of her life and career, is the first step to restoring her name to musical history. Agnes Zimmermann's public perception during her lifetime was undeniable, as was her talent and professionalism, even in the most unexpected circumstances. She is a fascinating figure in musical history and deserves rekindled interest in her story.
Our next image is from our Viewer's Choice category, and much like the Viewer's Choice winner from this competition, our Viewer's Choice category was the image that received the highest number of votes during our public voting period, and this year was over 1,500 votes that were cast online during the contest time. So this year's winner is Whispers of Defense by Jingpu Song, a member of the Department of Biology in the College of Arts and Science. The description reads, "Like a constellation written in light, an Orion-shaped pattern shimmers across the surface of a living leaf. What seems celestial emerges from a hidden world where plant epithelial cells awaken to an unseen threat. As a pathogen, the one in green, attacks, a silent conversation begins. Cells sense danger and quietly coordinate a defense beneath the leaf's calm surface. Cells that have heard the alarm and activated their immune defenses are marked by bright cyan nuclei, while their chloroplast factories, which are in magenta, start producing protective chemicals. This image reveals a microscopic world where life responds not with noise, but with whispers. In this unseen realm, biological patterns echo cosmic forms, reminding us that even the smallest cells join a luminous choreography of perception, adaptation, and defense. The full story will soon appear in Nature Communications.
Think of this. You have a fever. Your head is pounding, your body aches. You know something is wrong with your body, but you can't speak. You can't ask for help. You just have to wait until you collapse. This is the silent reality for thousands of mother pigs or sows on barns today. By the time a farmer sees that a sow is sick, is having a difficult birth, stops eating, won't stand up, it is often too late. The disease has spread, the piglets are lost, and her welfare has been compromised. Farmers care deeply about their animals, but they cannot be everywhere at once. They need a translator. My research is building that translator. I call it Sowvox. Sowvox fuses 3 streams of data to build a complete picture of health. First, smart ear tags. Like a Fitbit for pigs, it tracks their internal body temperature and movement. Second, electronic feeders that monitors their appetite, because oftentimes, skipping a meal is the first sign of distress. Third, environmental sensors that monitors their environmental conditions such as air temperature and relative humidity. Together, these streams are integrated using artificial intelligence or AI. When a sow temperature spikes, the AI checks the context to understand why. Is she hot because it's a scorching summer day? Is her temperature rising because she's going into labor? Or is she truly sick? By combining biology and environment, the AI filters out the noise to pinpoint the real cause of danger. This shifts farming from reactive to proactive. Sowvox spots the problem before the damage is done, turning silent signals into a clear alert, I need help. For the farmer, this saves herd. For the consumer, it means safer food. And for the animal, it's a relief from their suffering. You know, we cannot teach a pig to speak our language. With Sowvox, we don't have to. We just have to be smart enough to listen. Thank you.
The next image up is our winner of Best Description. And the Best Description category is chosen from all of the entries, which this year was over 110. And our panel of judges go through and read each description to pick out the best one. So this year's winner is Honeybee Snack Break During a Busy Day Foraging by Bree Bilton, a master's student in the Department of Veterinary Pathology in the Western College of Veterinary Medicine. Bree's description reads, European honeybees gather around a trough of sugar syrup, happily consuming their favorite meal on a warm summer's day. Sunlight gently reflects off their wings as other bees are busy at work deep within the hive, storing food for the winter. Across Canada, however, honeybees face a wide range of diseases. To protect against nosema, a sporulating disease which attacks the honeybee's digestive system, beekeepers mix antibiotics into sugar syrup to feed their hives. As we theorize that these antibiotics may also linger in honey destined for the grocery stores, we partnered with the Canadian Food Inspection Agency's Centre for Veterinary and Drug Residues to determine whether antibiotic residues are present in honey samples kept at different temperatures and lighting conditions.
Do any of you track your friends, your children, or your spouse? And no, I don't mean in a stalkerish way, but just to double check that they made it to school or to see if your spouse is at the grocery store so you can request just another item on your list. Now, if this is you, raise your hand. Don't be ashamed, I do it too. I track my friends, my boyfriend, but I also track 1,200 individuals throughout the East Coast of North America. And as you can probably assume from the slide behind me, they aren't humans, they're female mallard ducks. Over the past couple years, my team and I have been catching mallard ducks in 14 different states and 3 provinces. We attach to them these backpack-like transmitters that give us information about where they are and what they're doing. It's similar to us wearing an Apple Watch or a Fitbit. It's the device that tells us how many steps we've walked in a day, how long we've been resting for, and even with a little help from AI, can determine if you're pregnant based off of changes in movement and heart rate. Now, I know what you're thinking, birds aren't real, and I must work for the government in some sort of secret program. Sorry to disappoint, but that's not the case. Instead, I'm tracking these mallards as they migrate to determine where they like to nest and what conditions they need to raise their young. Unfortunately, these eastern coast mallards are declining. Since 1998, they've declined over 20% and are continuing to decrease. Wildlife managers and hunters are alarmed, as mallards constitute 20% of the annual duck harvest, as well as being a critical part of the ecosystems of the East Coast. Mallards are important for a variety of predator species, such as bald eagles, foxes, skunks, and even large fish. That being said, not only will the mallards hurt, but other species as well. To best help this population stabilize, I'm using these tracking devices to uncover the decisions mallards need to make when deciding to nest and raise their young. I can actually use the data from the transmitter to tell me if a mallard reproduces. It's wild technology, but by looking at changes in her movements and behaviors, I can tell if she was sitting on a nest, keeping her eggs warm. If she's successful, I can look at the habitat she was using and compare that with the habitat of mallards that weren't successful. I can then contact my collaborators on the East Coast and share this awesome information with them. In the future, I will also be investigating other decisions mallards need to make, such as where to migrate and how long to spend feeding in the winter. The results from this project will conserve mallards for years to come for the enjoyment of us all. So, the next time you check your phone to see that your friend still hasn't left to pick you up yet, just remember, somewhere out there, I'm doing it with my mallards. Thank you.
Our next image from this year's Images of Research contest is our grand prize winner. And this year, the grand prize winner was Capturing the Radiance of USask's Beloved Airplane Room by Dr. Ian Stavnis, a faculty member in the Department of Computer Science in the College of Arts and Science. And Ian's image description reads, rendering of a 3D radiance field capture of the Henry Taube Lecture Theatre in the Thorvaldsen Building at the University of Saskatchewan. This nearly perfect virtual replica of the theater can be explored like a video game or viewed in immersive virtual reality, allowing off-campus community members to visit this treasured space from afar. The upper left cutaway reveals the millions of optimized 3D points that conform to every nook and cranny of the room, outlining individual desks, the lamps and projectors on the wall, and even the paper airplanes embedded in the ceiling. Our research in 3D capture aims to comprehensively measure buildings for historical preservation, plants for detailed phenotyping, and natural spaces for artistic expression.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and I took the one less traveled. We think cancer spreads in predictable ways, through blood, through lymph. That's the main road. But cancer is clever. Sometimes it takes a different path. It travels along the nerves, the the same nerves that let us feel warmth of a hug, that let us feel pain. In my PhD, I'm studying why cancer travels along the nerves. We already know that nerves release tiny signals that can help cancer grow, and cancer can in turn send signals back, bringing more nerves towards it. It's like cancer is rewiring our own communication system to make itself more aggressive. In breast cancer, especially when it spreads to other organs, this partnership may make the disease more mobile, more adaptable, harder to stop. So how am I trying to better understand this? I grow neurons from rats in the lab. These are real living nerve cells, the same kind that carry signals in our bodies. Then I introduce aggressive breast cancer cells to them, and I watch. Do the cancer cells move differently when the nerves are nearby? Do they grow faster? Do they become even more aggressive? After a couple of days together, I start to see a pattern emerge. The cancer cells and the nerves, they don't just coexist, they begin to interact. They influence each other. And then there are Schwann cells. These are helper cells wrapped around the nerves that act like guides, bringing more cancer cells towards it. But not all cancer cells behave the same way. Some stay away. Others move closer and seem to prefer nerves. When I looked even closer, I saw that cancer cells that chose nerves as their roads had a unique biological signature, one that can make cancer harder to treat, but also one that could help us identify and target these cancer cells much earlier. Right now, I'm working to understand this biological signature and how we can use it to target cancer. In the end, if cancer is hijacking our communication network, we need to learn its language. Once we understand it, then we can start interrupting it. Cancer takes the road less traveled to evolve, and my research maps that road so one day we can block it. Thank you.
So now that we've been through all of the winners of this year's Images of Research, I thought I would showcase our runners-up. So on this slide, we have runners-up from all of our categories. The one on the far right that looks like a bone is a bone, and it's called The Hidden Architecture Within by Sidra Yuzar, a PhD student in nutritional epidemiology in the College of Pharmacy and Nutrition. And below that, you see barley, and that is What You Cannot See by Jessalyn Robb, undergraduate student in the Department of Plant Sciences in the College of Agriculture and Bioresources. And then to the left of that is Childhood Amnesia. It is a project by Gabriel Seminska-Hulk, who is one of our winners this year. And again, she's an alumnus of the Art and Art History School for the Arts. And then beside that, you have a really cool microscopic photo of flaxseed. And this is Flaxseed Gum, Microplastic Catching Net by Candy Ding, a staff member in the Food and Bioproduct Sciences in the College of Agriculture and Bioresources. And again, we have some more bee content. And so we have here Inside a Queen Cell from Sahir Kondratik, a master's student in the veterinary pathology of Western College of Veterinary Medicine. And then finally, we have Silver Birch Lights right at the top there. And that's by Rowan Pentel, a PhD student in interdisciplinary studies in the College of Graduate and Postdoctoral Studies. So a nice little photo to end off on.
How many of you know how long it takes to produce pork? It's not days, not weeks, but months. Raising a pig takes months of careful work. Now imagine a disease that can undo all of that in just a few days. That's African swine fever virus. When it hits, it's devastating. Entire herds are lost, farms shut down, trade stops, and suddenly pork disappears both from local and global markets. This virus threatens a $150 billion global pork industry. And here's something surprising. We have known this virus for over a century, and we still don't have a vaccine. So the big question is, why can a virus that we have known for so long be so hard to stop? Well, a part of answer lies within the virus itself. African swine fever virus is built in layers. For a long time, research focused on the outer layer because that seems to be the obvious place to look, right? But even without that layer, the virus is still infectious. That made me think maybe the real solution isn't on the surface. Maybe something deeper inside the virus is driving infection. And that's where my research comes in. I focus on a tiny protein in the inner layer of the virus called the H108R. Now, to understand what this protein does, we took some healthy cells in a dish and added the protein. What we found was that the cells became leaky. They didn't just burst open, it was more like a small leak had formed. Think of a winter jacket zipper that won't fully close. From outside, everything looks fine, but there's a tiny gap. And if you have ever felt the cold air slip in, you know that the tiny gap is enough. Inside the cells, H108R creates that same kind of a gap. Normally, cells rely on carefully controlled signals to stay balanced and defend themselves. But when important signals slip out at wrong time, that balance gets disrupted. The cell loses its control. Instead of defending itself, it starts helping the virus to replicate. So then we thought, what if we fix the zipper? So we removed a small part of this protein and tested this modified protein onto the healthy cells. And guess what? This time the leak was reduced. That tells us something important. H108R is not just part of the virus, it's actively helping the virus to take control of the cell and make more copies of itself, which means more virus. More virus means faster spread. Faster spread means greater devastation. So where does this lead us? If H108R helps the virus succeed, it also gives us a weak spot to target. And that weak spot can help us design better vaccines to stop the virus before it spreads. Because in the end, this isn't just about protecting pigs, it's about supporting global food security. It takes months to raise a pig and only days to lose it. So if we want to stop this virus, we need to understand what lies underneath. And that's what my research aims to achieve. Thank you.
Wow. What an incredible showcase. Can you join me in applauding all of our presenters today one more time? Thank you. All right, so now is the time that we have to let our judges have a few minutes to consolidate and come up with the winners, and we will have an award presenting moment segment when we come back in a few moments. I think about 10 minutes, but we'll probably have to call you back. We're just gonna let our judges get ready. Again, not sure if there's any refreshments left, but you're free to move about and we'll let you know. But please do stay around to hear the outcomes and support the students. Thank you. Thank you all for thank you all for your patience. Welcome back. We are ready to announce the winners. And I'm going to have Erin come up and help me with this process. What we're going to do is Erin's going to be announcing the names, but my job is to stand with the winners for a photo, who's going to be somewhere over there. And then I'm just going to say it now that afterwards at the end, we're going to get all the contestants up here for a group photo and some photos at the end. Okay, so Erin, the podium is yours.
Okay, so here we are. We're going to start with our People's Choice winner. And the People's Choice winner is Dominica Medea Sanchez. Congratulations. Now in our third place winner is Nixon Joseph. Congratulations. And now second place, Ella Kagaro. All right, and so our first place winner for 3MT is Cassidy Waldrop.
Thanks again. That was just amazing storytelling. So today we really have witnessed the power of ideas being distilled down to just 3 minutes. And really, I think it was all so amazing, compelling, engaging, and I really hope you felt accessible to that wide audience that we have in the room, and those of you still online. Thank you for your participation. So to our participants, I just want to say, your dedication, your passion, your ability to communicate, your work is really inspiring. You've not only represented your fields of study, but also demonstrated the impact of your research. To our judges, I know that was a difficult job and tricky. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of the other mentors that are out there and friends that supported our students and helped them along the way and encouraging them. I also want to take a moment to thank the organizers. This year's competition organization was led by Cassidy Guy, who is our communications specialist. We have a number of volunteers from the college that you've seen around. Luis, Chelsea, Jaswine is here. Who am I missing? Mark's hanging out in the back. Oh, and Aurora, but you met Aurora at the beginning. And thank you to the people from Media Services doing their fantastic job with us. So as we close this event, I really also want to really thank the audience for your enthusiasm and for your curiosity. And let's carry forward this spirit of sharing in a way that excites and informs. So congratulations once again to all our participants. And thank you, and have a wonderful and safe travels home, please. I hear the snow's kind of been coming down hard. And as I said, students, please come on back up. And judges, maybe you could join us. And Erin, I didn't thank Erin again. Thank you so much for helping us out today. Come along and we'll get some photos. Thanks.